Hello, welcome back to Blender Stack Modifiers. In this episode, I'll be showing you kind of like a quick breakdown of this simple Ferris wheel cart that I created using geometry nodes and SketchUp nodes in Blender. So this is the final result. It's still work in progress. I need to make some details, but yeah, this was actually originally just a bunch of pieces of elements that I use with Boolean functions to get to this point. Okay, so this is the actual Ferris wheel cart. The rest of them, of course, this is like the instance and it's being animated. This is the final one, which is actually based on the circle. So in order to explain this, I probably need to go backwards. Okay, so this is the last piece, circle, which is rotated 90 degrees inside SketchUp, and based on this circle, I simply instance the Ferris wheel cart. So that part should be easy, and and the rainbow color is from the shader itself of this guy. So the shader. Anyway, I don't need to show you the shader. The geometry node simply instancing the alpha. So the alpha is the original model over here. Okay, so this model is simply using geometry nodes, and then it's a Boolean difference of many objects. The last two parts is simply joined together. It's not using Boolean operations, but the rest of them is being starting with the alpha itself, which is actually a sphere in SketchUp. At this point, it seems like slightly convoluted because I need to kind of organize this a little bit more. With SketchUp, if you make a mesh viewer, it will create this random name, kind of like a Greek name. But all of this is what's generating the final objects, which is alpha. Okay, so let's take a look. So if alpha is a sphere, of course, this is the things that's cutting the objects. So you can probably kind of guess. Some of them is not so obvious, like the epsilon. That's actually, the epsilon is actually this part, like the cylinder. So if we take a look, let me quickly explain. So the whole thing, of course, is still procedural, and I started with this sphere. And the sphere can have any resolutions that you want. If I reduce it to 4x4, we have this. So I can actually scale whatever. This is alpha, this is where I started. And then we have beta, which is the cutter for this guy, which is simply just a box. And with this box, I can make it so it's kind of like fitting like that. So that's kind of nice because this part and this part is connected together. But you can always have this kind of detail. It's up to you. And then the next one is another box, which is cutting the sphere. Any way you like. And then the cylinder. Okay, the cylinder is this part. This is the chair part. So if you want to make it nicer for the passenger, you want to have a little bit of bend. So this kind of detailing is actually really powerful if you start modeling like this. And then we have this cylinder, which is instance using array of circle. So originally this is actually 360 degrees. And I just make it 180 degrees. I can control the number of the cylinder and the radius. The output is epsilon, but also I have theta. This is something that's already been joined with geometry nodes, I think. That's why I cannot hide it anymore. If I get rid of these two, we have only the chair, so you can see how everything comes together. If I join this together with the epsilon, so if I want to join alpha and epsilon, the way I do it is to use join geometry and object info, and I just drag the epsilon there, drag and dropping, and then combine these two together. So now I have this as a single object. I can hide the original epsilon. So continue on. I actually have another cylinder. The output is, see, this iota. Iota is this rooftop. So this part, this guy is another cylinder. Since this is a cylinder, actually you can make a different type of design. So like that is kind of nice too. So if I like that iota and I want to add this to alpha, I simply duplicate this, drag the iota there, hide it, and then combine these two together, and it's become a single object. So as a single object, it's now can be duplicated. So now we have a new, totally different design. Of the Ferris wheel. So you get the idea here. There's probably quite nice like this. So, and the rotations is the circle that's driving kappa. And if you look at geometry nodes of kappa, it's just transform, rotations driven by frame. And in this point instance, it's maintaining the orientation, which is nice. And also, it's keeping the color, which is nice, because I think if I make this too fast, the color is changing. Or no, I think it is actually keeping the color. So at least it's not flickering. We can do extra things, you know, like point scale, things like that. So this is, I think, a demonstration of like a Boolean operations. Ideally, we have some kind of interface that works like a little bit like BoxCutter and modifiers. But BoxCutter, in a way that it can work with SphereChalk and geometry nodes, will be really quite powerful, because for some parts like this, like circular array or things like a little bit more complex, SphereChalk is actually already capable of generating complex elements. So that's something to try yourself. Maybe tomorrow I will try to make like a basic robots using this kind of technique. So Booleans that works behind the scene to create whatever you are trying to create. It seems slightly confusing at first, but if you create something that works procedurally like this, you can have multiple variations, and you can adjust it as you need. Okay, so yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.